So in today's session, we will discuss about one numerical on one-way PT slab. Then we will see the design steps for two-way slab. Then we will see the end block design. Okay. So only 2 points are remaining from the unit number 2. That is two-way slab and the end block design. Now this is the numerical we will discuss on the one-way slab. So for your examination point of view, so they will ask the different causes stated in the IS 1343 and the simple formulas. Okay. Now they have given the simply supported one-way PT slab having the length of 10 meter. The slab is required to support the live load of 10 kilonewton per meter square. So this is the live load is given. Then grade of concrete and the compressive stresses are not likely to increase in service condition. And the structure, it is type 1 structure. So type 1 structure, it is that structure when there is no any tensile cracks are observed. Okay, tensile cracks are not seen in type 1 structure. So we have to determine the minimum depth of the slab. We have to determine the minimum depth of the slab, and we have to take the loss ratio as a 0.8 and the cube strength of a concrete at transfer. So at transfer it is 23 MPa and in the service it is 30 MPa. So, and we have to find out the minimum depth of the slab. So this is the given data. This is the given data given, that is live load is given. Then grade of concrete at service it is 30 MPa and at transfer it is 23 MPa. And the loss ratio K, it is given as a 0.8. If in some of the MCQs, if they are not stated K value, then we have to assume the K as 0.8. Okay. If it is not given, then assume the value as 0.8. So the first, the depth of the slab you have to find out as per the live load, as per the live load. So they have given the live load as 10 kilonewton per meter. So the movement due to the live load that we know, that is WL square by 8. WL square by 8. So W they have given as 10 kilonewton per meter. So the span again they have given the 10. So 10 into 10 square by 10. So the movement due to the live load, it is 125 kilonewton meter. Kilonewton meter. Now we know that from the simple bending theory, M by Z, it is equal to the stress. It is equal to the stress. Now this M by Z that we can find out. So movement due to the live load we have calculated, that is 125 U. So Z, it is nothing but the section modulus. Now as the section is rectangular one, so for a rectangular section having the cross section B into D, so the section modulus that will be what? I by Y, moment of inertia divided by Y max, we can say. So the moment of inertia, it will be BD cube by 12. Moment of inertia is BD cube by 12 divided by Y will be D by 2. Y will be D by 2. So also we know that section modulus for simple regular rectangular section, it is BD square by 6. It is BD square by 6. Now, so we have to consider the unit strip. Unit strip you have to consider. So that's why B will be 1 meter. B will be 1 meter. So BD square by 6. So this is B, this is D square divided by 6. It will be 6 here. And this is the moment. This is the moment due to the live load. And this is the stress they have given. This is the stress they have given at service, that is 30. Now from, if you rearrange this term, so the depth due to this live load, it will be 180 mm. Okay. So this is the depth of the slab considering the live load movement, considering the live load. Now they have given the self weight also, we can find out the self weight. So self weight, it is 4.625. 4.625. So how to find out the self weight? So consider the volume into the unit weight. So for volume, so this is the depth. So again we are considering the width, that will be unit 1, that will be 1 meter, and this is the unit weight of that slab. So that's why 4.625 kilonewton per meter, this is the self weight. This is the self weight, or we can say dead load. Now, so for dead load also we can find out the moment. So for dead load also the moment will be what? MGL square by 8. MGL square by 8. So again here, so this is the dead load calculated using volume into the unit weight into the span square, that is 10 square divided by 8. So this is the moment due to the dead load. Now we have calculated the depth using the live load, or you can say using the moment due to the live load. Now if you have to find out, the minimum slab thickness, then the corresponding section modulus, should be minimum. Means if you have to find out the minimum depth of the slab, then we have to consider minimum section modulus. So initially we have calculated the moment due to the live load. Then using the simple bending theory, m by z, it is equal to sigma. We have calculated the depth. Then we have calculated the dead load, and we have calculated the moment due to the dead load. Now, so for minimum section modulus, so this is the formula we are having as per the design steps. So Z minimum is equal to 1 minus K into moment due to the dead load plus moment due to the live load divided by K into FC. Now putting all the corresponding values. So what we get here? So 1 minus that loss ratio, it is 0.8. So this is the moment due to the dead load. This is 125. It is the moment due to the live load. Okay. So this is in kilonewton into meter. So convert it in Newton mm. So that's why multiply with 10 to the power 6 divided by. So loss ratio is 0.8. So concrete grade at transfer, it is 23. It is given. So Z minimum. So Z minimum value we are getting as 7.42 into 10 to the power 6. 10 to the power 6 mm cube. Okay. Now we know that, so Z it is equal to BD square by 6. Z it is equal to BD square by 6. So this is the value of Z. So from this we can find out the D. That will be Z into 6 divided by B. Take a root of this quantity, you will get the depth. And that depth is 215 mm. Means to get the minimum depth of the slab, we have to consider the minimum section modulus. Okay. So this is for the one-way slab. Now we will discuss for the two-way slab. So as that of the one-way slab, so there are 7 to 8 different steps that you have to follow for two-way slab design. Now the question will be there for in between step. So they will not give the numerical, you have to design the slab, and they will ask the what will be number of cables and what will be the spacing. So they will ask the in between step. So the step number 1 for the design of two-way PT slab is we have to find out we have to determine the thickness of the slab. So the slab is said to be two-way when the aspect ratio it is less than or equal to the aspect ratio, it is less than or equal to 2. So if it is less than or equal to 2, that will be two-way slab. And the thickness of slab, it is given by the span divided by 50. Okay. Span, that is L divided by 50. That will be the thickness of this slab. This is the first step. Second, for the load calculation. So for load calculation, first it will be for the unit weight of PSC, that is 24 kilonewton per meter cube. Then self weight of the slab. This is the depth that you have to, or thickness you will get from the step number 1. This is the unit width and this is the unit weight. Okay, so from this we'll get the self weight. Then live load, it will be given 325 kilonewton per meter square. So these loads will be given. So what we have to do is we have to work out for the self weight of the slab. Okay, live load will be given, this load will be given, then floor finish load will be also given. So we have to add all the loads. So that we will get the total working load. After adding, say, self weight of the slab or dead load, then live load, floor finish load. So you will get the total working load. Step number one, it is for the thickness of the slab, that will be L by 50. Step number 2, it is for the load calculation. So it will be the sum of dead load, live load and floor finish load. Suppose they have not given the floor finish load, so assume the suitable value. So from 0.1 to 0.15, kilonewton per meter square. Now, once we calculated the load, next this for the bending moment calculation. It is for the bending moment calculation. Now, this bending moment calculation, it will be same. So what we have studied in RCC design. So what we have studied in the RCC design. So for two-way slab, so for bending moment calculation, so there will be the coefficient in the x direction, or we can say shorter span, and in the longer span, alpha x, alpha y. Okay, and the movement in the x direction or the shorter direction, it is given by alpha x w into lx square. Now these are the formulas are same as that of the RCC that you have studied in the RCC. Okay, so using this, you will get the movement in x and y direction respectively. First step, find out the thickness of slab. Second, work out for the load. Third, work out for the bending moment in x and y direction respectively, or we can say in shorter direction and in the longer direction with respect to the IS 456. IS 456. So same clause we have to refer. Okay. Then we have to perform the check. So first check, it is for the limit state of collapse. So first check we have to perform from the limit state of collapse. Now what we have to do is, so in x and y direction, we have to find out the ultimate moment. So in previous step, we have calculated the moment. आपण काय केलं होतं, moment find out केली होती, mx it is equal to alpha x into w lx square. So that moment we have calculated. Now, so we have to find out the ultimate moment in that direction. So that will be our x direction and y direction. Okay, and that we have to consider. So this check we have to perform for per meter span. So check we have to perform for the per meter span. Okay, so this is ultimate movement in the x direction. Okay, ultimate movement in the x direction. Now this is the ultimate movement in the x direction. So how to perform the check for the collapse? Now from table number 11, you will get the depth of the neutral axis. We can get the depth of neutral axis. So to get the depth of neutral axis, what we want the effective reinforcement ratio. What we want, we have studied in the calculation of moment of resistance. So initially work out the effective reinforcement ratio. So corresponding to that particular value of effective reinforcement ratio, which is having minimum as 0.25 and maximum as 0.4. ठीक है, हे आपण स्टडी केलेला आहे. So using that, you will get the depth of neutral axis. We will get the depth of neutral axis. Now once we get this xu by d, so what is the next step? We have to find out the moment of resistance. That moment of resistance will be what? So that force, okay, that force 0.85 FPE in bracket d minus 0.42 XU. Okay, this is the force and this is the lever arm, or we can say perpendicular distance. So using that expression, moment of resistance expression that you have studied, we have to find out the moment. समजते का बघा? So this is the ultimate moment due to the given external loading. ठीक है, this is the ultimate moment due to the given external loading. Now next what we have to do, whether this moment is sufficient or not. So how to do that? So refer the table number 11. Find out the effective reinforcement ratio, then find out the depth of neutral axis, that is xu by d. Then use the expression for moment of resistance. Use the expression for moment of resistance for rectangular section, that is force into lever arm. Then you will get certain value. Suppose you will get certain value here, 35. If you are getting that value, it is 35. And if the moment of resistance of a given section, if it is greater than the ultimate moment calculated, then it is okay. Okay, because this moment of resistance, it is the moment sustained by that particular section. And it should be greater than this particular moment of resistance. It should be greater than the ultimate moment generated. Ultimate moment generated. If this moment of resistance, if it is greater than this moment calculated, then it's okay. If it is not, then you have to revise the section. Then you have to revise the dimensions. Okay. This is the step number 4. Check for the collapse. Then next, check for the deflection. Check for the deflection. Now, so for equivalent load in the x direction, so this is the expression that we know, because the loading we are considering, that will be in terms of the UDL. So that's why. So the equivalent load, it is equal to 8PE divided by L square. 8PE divided by L square. Why? Because the moment, it is equal to, so it is UDL, cable profile, it is parabolic. So that's why WL square by 8. Okay, WL square by 8. And what is this moment? This will be pre-stressing force into the eccentricity. This is pre-stressing force into the eccentricity. Now, if you compare, if you equate this P into E with WL square by 8. So what we get, equivalent load, this W will be 8PE divided by L square. 8PE divided by L square. So this is the equivalent load in the X direction. Suppose in X direction, we have to consider the per meter width. And suppose there are 4 cables and each cable carrying 100 kilonewton force. Then P will be 4 into 100, 400. Okay. Then you have to calculate the eccentricity. And from this, we have to calculate